Hey gang, Mark LeBlanc welcoming you back to actually not the Alley Cat Workshop, but to an area right next to my house. You see, we have at the house a Briggs Stratton 20 kilowatt standby generator. And every year you need to do some maintenance on this, just as the word implies, to maintain the engine. Now, why do we have a generator? Every single piece of equipment in our house works with electricity. Our water pump, we have a well, so there's a water pump that is powered by electricity. If we don't have water, then it's going to be really tough to live in this house for an extended period of time. You can just think of just drinking water, but also bathrooms come into play as well. Showers, you name it. So when we moved to the house, we decided to get this thing installed, and it requires a little bit of maintenance once a year, and I will walk you through the steps. These steps are detailed in the instructions. Do yourself a favor and read them. But my experience, what I found is that the instructions are actually pretty complete, but there's a couple of little steps that are missing, and I will point those out that you need to follow in order to get a successful maintenance done. So, without further ado, let's get going. And the first thing we need to do is make our work environment safe. As I said, this is a 20 kilowatt generator. It can generate up to 70 amps. That's more than enough to kill you. So let's avoid that if we can. Right, the first step actually happens at the very back of the unit itself. So if I go over here in the back, right on the top, there's a switch. And the switch right now is in the on position. We need to flip it to the off position. Step number 2, according to these instructions, which by the way are on page 32 of the owner's manual, is to remove the utility power to the generator to de-energize the battery charger. Great. Step number 3 is to unlock and open the roof. Well, what I've found is that in order to do step 2, you need to do step 3 first. So let's do that. I've got my keys. What I found is, let me insert the key in here. I need to push down on the lid in order to allow the key to open. Once I've done that, there's a breaker right up top here on the generator. Flip that to off, and that is what I think is step 2. So again, step 3 needs to be done before step 2. Minor detail. All right, step 4 is to remove the battery panel. Battery panel is this panel right over here on the side. So I've got a screwdriver with a, is it a 1/2 inch? Nope, 7/16 inch hex adapter. And I will remove the 2 screws that are holding this up. There's a little washer on the screw, so be careful not to lose this. All right, let's take the panel off and let's put it aside. And for convenience sake, I've got a little bowl here that I'm going to leave my screws in. Now, while we're at it, the instructions don't mention this, but it's going to be impossible to drain the oil unless you remove the front panel. So while we're at it, I'll do that next. All right, step 5 is to remove a 15 amp fuse from the fuse holder. That fuse is right over here. It's a 15 amp fuse. Just pull it out. Let's put it in our bowl and keep it there. And the last thing here is to disconnect the negative wire on the battery. I'm going to do that next. All right, so to disconnect the black wire, I've got a 1/2 inch wrench. There we go. Disconnected, and that's it. Our environment is now safe for our maintenance. Okay, next step is to drain the oil. So there is this tube right here on the bottom, and that's your oil drain pipe. So what I've got a container, a drip pan, sorry, and I just need, yeah, that's gonna be too small. Just gonna use two pairs of pliers. All right, there we go. I got it now. So you notice I put some gloves on because I'm going to be handling some oil, or get my hands close to oil. All right. This could take about 5 minutes or so. So be patient. Let it drip. So that ended up taking a little more than 10 minutes. You have to be patient. And in my case, there's not much difference in height between the end of the drain pipe and my drip pan, so gravity's helping, but not that much. All right, let's keep going. The next step, I want to talk to you a little bit about it. In the instructions, it says that the oil filter is hand tightened at the factory. Well, I personally never want to meet the guy who hand tightened that and shake his hand, because it would crush me. Last year when I did maintenance for the very first time, I ran into an interesting problem. There was no way for me to loosen and remove the oil filter other than by using an oil filter clamp. So that's what I'm going to use, and I highly recommend that you get yourself one of these. If you're able to remove the oil filter by hand, you are a much stronger man than I am. And maybe I don't want to shake your hand as well, because it would crush me. All right, I'm going to remove drain pipe here. There's so much room to move here and to maneuver. It's crazy. All right, let's go ahead. There we go. And hopefully, yeah, it's loosen enough. All right, so I'm going to put my all right, a fair bit of oil is falling. It's going to require a couple of rags. Let's put this aside. All right, time to reinstall a new oil filter. What I will do is I will put all the parts that I ordered. I ordered these from Amazon, actually. But all the parts that I ordered for this maintenance, this is a genuine Briggs Stratton. I'm going to put a bit of oil on the rubber gasket and tighten it by hand for now. All right, let's do a little bit more cleaning. Make sure that we remove as much oil as possible that might have fallen. Okay, the instructions do state that you should only hand tighten the oil filter. Let me share with you my experience. We had a power failure last year that lasted a couple of days, and the generator stopped midway. Why? Because the oil filter was loose, some oil spilled out, and the motor got too hot, so it basically shut itself down. After tightening the oil filter, and after adding some more oil, everything was fine. So guess what, folks? I'm not going to just hand tighten this. I'm going to use my trusty clamp. And that should be plenty. All right. Whew. It's very hot today. So before I add the oil, I'm going to change the spark plugs on the unit. So there's two spark plugs, one in the front, one on the back. You remove the cap. I've got this in position so that it's going to unscrew. Good. And I'm going to go. Thought I was going to go gently. And once it's loosened a little bit, I'll do the rest by hand. All right. So just to show you, this is the old spark plug, and this is the new one. Small difference. This one has been used up. All right, to replace this, I'm going to first tighten by hand. So I'm going to use my ratchet socket, insert the spark plug, and just tighten things by hand. Being very careful not to strip the spark plug. Okay, so by hand, this is it. Now, the instructions indicate that you tighten these things to 100 inch per pound or 20 nanometers. I do not have a gauge or tool with that type of gauge in it. I've done quite a bit of research, and what I found is you need to tighten this thing about a quarter to half a turn, ideally half a turn, once you hand tighten the spark plug. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinstall my ratchet wrench. All right, so I'm about between 4 and 5. And you know what? That's it. I can't go any further. I'm not going to insist. End of story. And click it back in place. I have to do now the other side, which is a little tighter area, but it's the same principle. Should be pretty easy. So I'll do that off camera, and I'll come back to you after. So I just install the second spark plug in the back. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add oil. So I've got 5W30 synthetic oil, and I'm going to just pour some. I've got a funnel here for my oil transfer. All right, let it sit for a while. Take the dipstick and check the level, and do that until I get to just under the full bar. That's the ideal. And then we'll reassemble this whole thing and test it out. So stick around. Almost there. There's one thing that I normally would do at this time of year for the annual maintenance, but I don't have a part, and that's change the air filter. This is the unit for the air filter. You unlock this, remove the lid. There's another screw underneath for the air filter. You unscrew that, replace the air filter. It's the simplest operation, this whole thing. So I'm not going to show you today because I don't have the spare part. I'm expecting it in a week or so, but the rest is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rejig this, starting with the battery, then the fuse, then this breaker, then the breaker at the back. I'll show you something about the breaker at the back because that's something you need to know. So give me a second while I get everything sorted out. We'll see you in a few seconds. All right, so I've reattached the battery, reinstalled the fuse, put the breaker on the top. Last thing I need to do is to flip the switch on. So to do this, you need to push this red. It's kind of like a safety switch. You push it up, and then you're able to put the this main breaker or main switch back on. All right, let's test this. All right, so right now engine is off. It's ready. It's in manual mode. Let's start it. All right, so the engine's going to cool down for about 5 minutes. I'm going to check it for leaks, but it looks like we did a good job. So thanks for watching, folks. My name is Mark. Most of my channel is about woodworking. If you enjoy that, please join, subscribe, and if you like this video, please click that like button. You know how it works. It helps the analytics, the world famous analytics of YouTube. All right, folks, I'm happy this is done. Thanks for watching. Bye.